For generations, women have been told that at some point in their lives, they will need to make a choice between family and work, between caregiving and career, between being present for their families and pursuing financial empowerment. Sometimes this message is subtle, sometimes it is spoken directly, but the assumption behind it remains the same. Women are told they cannot realistically have both. If they choose family, their professional ambitions must slow down. If they pursue career growth aggressively, something else must give. And so the responsibility of managing this tension is placed squarely on women. But there is a deeper question we rarely ask. What if the problem is not women's choices? What if the problem is the way work itself has been designed? Most modern workspaces were structured during periods when families were organized very differently. Professional systems were built around the idea of the ideal worker. Someone who could remain consistently available, someone who could stay late, travel when necessary, relocate if required, someone whose schedule was largely uninterrupted by other responsibilities. This model worked within a particular social structure, but that structure assumed that someone else was handling the realities of everyday life, managing households, supporting families, coordinating the invincible work that sustains daily living and is the bedrock of our society. Today, society looks very different. Women are educated, ambitious, entrepreneurial. They are professionals, founders, leaders, and contributors across every sector of the economy. At the same time, the responsibilities that sustain families and communities have not disappeared. Many women continue to carry significant responsibilities within their households while also pursuing economic participation. When these realities collide with rigid work structures, something interesting happens. What appears to be a personal choice is often actually a structural constraint. Women appear to be choosing between family and financial empowerment, but in truth, they are navigating systems that make combining the two unnecessarily difficult. Technology, however, has begun to shift this equation. The digital economy has introduced new ways of organizing work. Roles that depend more on expertise and outcomes than on physical presence in a specific location. These changes are not simply conveniences, but they are vital structural shifts. They make it possible to rethink the relationship between caregiving responsibilities and economic participation. A woman who supports a global client remotely while managing her household is not abandoning professional ambition. She is participating in the economy in a way that reflects the reality of her life. A virtual assistant coordinating business operations from her home office is not choosing family over career. She is redefining what professional participation can look like in the modern economy. These examples remind us of something important. The conflict between caregiving and economic participation is not inevitable. It is often the result of outdated assumptions about where work must happen, when it must happen, and who it was originally designed for. The Work for Work campaign challenges the idea that women must choose between family and financial empowerment. Because the real opportunity before us is not asking women to choose differently. The opportunity is redesigning work itself. Redesigning work so that participation in the economy no longer requires people to choose. It cannot remain an either-or proposition. Family commitment and financial empowerment are not mutually exclusive. Women should be allowed to choose work, care, or both. Because when systems recognize the realities of people's lives, participation becomes possible. And when participation becomes possible, the economy becomes stronger for everyone.